All right, this is lesson 21. The computation of a non-vertical line, day 2. It says find the rate of change using the graph. I am going from this point here to this point here, or actually this point here. Sorry. So here, if I go up 1 and I go over 2, okay, the rate of change, okay, that just driving me crazy today, guys, sorry. The rate of change, or the slope, which is the rise over the run, okay, is up 1, to the right 2 is 1/2. Okay. Next, it says when you are counting, the rise is the horizontal or vertical change. It is the vertical change. Okay. Or the y-axis. All right. All right. It says when you are counting the run, is it the horizontal or the vertical change? It is the horizontal change. Or the x-axis. Okay. And what we're going to work with today is a slope formula to find out what our slope will be. And that is our m in our equation, which we're going to work with. And that is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, in other words, our rise over run, which is the change in y, over the change in x. Okay. Now, here's how this is going to work. Okay. So, for example, just calculate the slope of the line using 2 different pairs of points. Okay. So if I were to pick 2 points on here, okay, I'm going to pick, for example, -10 and 30 and 10 and 10. Okay. So let's use those 2 points. So we have -10 and 30 and 10 and 10. Start with our formula. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now, with these points, you have to keep them together. And what I mean by that is this. Once you pick y2, x2 has to go along with that. So, for example, I'm going to pick this as y2, which means this has to be x2. This would be y1. This would be x1. So now I am going to plug these in. So here we go. So here I've got 30 minus 10 over -10 minus 10. Okay, which then equals 20 over -20. Okay, which equals -1. Now, because it wants two different pairs, we have to pick another set of points and do the same thing. So now what I'm going to pick is I am going to pick here, which is negative or 30 and negative 10. And I'm going to, well, actually, you know what? I'm going to, instead of that, I'm going to pick negative 20 and 40. And I'm going to pick 20 and 0. To make this a little easier on me. So again, our formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And this time, I am going to use, this is y2 and x2, y1 and x1. You can pick either one, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't matter. But once you pick it, the other one has to be, once you pick your y2, your x2 has to be right next to it, okay? They are a point. Your coordinates have to go together. So now I'm going to plug them in. So I've got 0 minus 40 over 20 minus negative 20. Leave change here. So now I've got negative 40 over 40, which equals negative 1. So notice, no matter what points I pick, I still get negative 1. Okay? So now with any 2 points, I can calculate the slope. So let's do that with these next 2 points. Here I have 2 sets of points. Your teacher tells you that a line goes through the points, negative 6 comma 1/2, negative 4 comma 3. Calculate the slope. Well, we use our formula. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So let's use our points. I am going to erase this underline so I can use y2 and y1. So here I've got y2 and x2, y1 and x1. And again, the reason I used y2 here is because I wanted the 3 in front. So I've got 3 minus 1/2 over negative 4 minus negative 6. So again, leave change. So here I have 2.5 over 2. Okay. And because I need to get rid of the fraction here, I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 2. Multiply it, by 1, which is going to give me 5 over 4. Okay. Now B says, do you think the slope will be the same if the order of the points were reversed? Verify by calculating the slope and explain your result. Well, let's check it out. All right, so we are going to switch the points and make this x2 and y2. Okay, so here we go. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So if I switch them and use 1/2 minus 3 over negative 6 minus negative 4, we then would get negative 2 and 1/2 over negative 2. And again, multiply both top and bottom by 2. We would still get 5 over 4. Okay, well, actually negative 5 over negative 4, which would simplify to 5 over 4. So the answer here would be yes. Okay. So in other words, what we would be doing here is we would be using these same points. And all I did was I used these points here and switched them around to plug them in here. Okay? And this is the end of our lesson for today.